it's Ashley from Life by Ashley Pichea, where I invite you to join me in doing life together, living intentionally by faith every day. Today in my Caffeinated Conversations, I want to share with you a little bit about what I've studied in 1 Peter this week. We were in 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 8 through 12. And I want to share with you, I'm going to read the first couple verses, share with you what the author of the study I was going through says, and then give you another little bit of my thoughts on the verses. So 1 Peter chapter 3, I'm going to read to you verses 8 and 9. To sum up, all of you be harmonious, sympathetic, brotherly, kind-hearted, and humble in spirit, not returning evil for evil or insult for insult, but giving a blessing instead. For you were called for the very purpose that you might inherit a blessing. And the author really focused on these two verses during her study this week, which I kind of thought was interesting because when I read through the set of verses, I actually focused on another one, another one caught my eye. So I'm going to share her thoughts on those two verses, and then I want to share my thoughts on verse 10. So the study I'm going through is by Sue Edwards. It's an inductive Bible study that she's written and has published with Kregel Publishing. And she says, our Western worldview works against our creating thriving communities in our churches. Individualism is part of the DNA of most Americans. But if we are to survive in hostile times, we must learn how to get along and to love one another as brothers and sisters in the family of God. Peter can help us overcome our individualistic tendencies if we learn to emulate the beautiful pictures he paints of ideal churches. The more churches look like this picture, the more they will produce healthy Christians, and the brighter the churches will shine for Jesus in the world. This kind of Christian community is a winsome tool to woo seeking unbelievers to the Lord. True in Peter's time and still true in ours. So she really focused on the fact that we need to be harmonious and sympathetic toward one another, to have that brotherly love for one another, to be kind and humble. And I thought that's a great, I really enjoyed her focus. I thought that was really good. Like she says in that portion from her study, if we truly lived like that, we would be a magnet for Christ. We would be, people would look at the church, and rather than seeing infighting, and discord, they would see that humility, and they would see the harmonious spirit within us, and they would be drawn to that. So I really appreciated her emphasis on that, and I thought that was really good, something that I need to work on as far as getting along with the believers in my own church family, and also in the other churches in our community, and with other believers that I come into contact, whether in person or online or however that might be. So that was the first thing I wanted to share with you. The second one is in verse 10. She says, or the Bible says, I guess, it says, for the one who desires life, to love and see good days, must keep his tongue from evil and his lips from speaking lies, or speaking deceit, my version says. And the reason that verse stuck out to me is because that verse is actually taken from Psalm 34. And I think it's Psalm 34:13 that says, keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking lies. And my kids have a little song that we use when we are having problems with lying that we learned. I believe it comes from the Critter County CD or tape by Christine Wurtzen. And it goes something like this. Keep your tongue from evil, keep your tongue. Keep your tongue from evil, keep your tongue. And your lips from speaking lies. Keep your tongue from evil, keep your tongue. So when my kids are having problems remembering not to lie, we do, or if they're having a problem saying kind things to one another, we do use that verse and that little song to help us remember. So I thought I would share it with you today as a way that you could use to help your kids with the lies, or if they're having problems speaking kindly. Also today in my caffeinated conversation, I'm trying not to make this too long, but I did want to share, normally I do a 5-minute Friday write, where I just write for 5 minutes on a topic that the Gypsy Mama, Lisa Jo over there, sets a topic every week, and then whatever comes to mind, we're supposed to write for 5 minutes, only 5 minutes, and then hit publish, no editing. Well, as soon as I heard the topic this week, a song popped into my head, and it went with the Bible verse and everything, and so rather than write, I thought I would share with you. The topic this week is delight, and as soon as I heard the word delight, the song, I Will Delight in the Law of the Lord, popped into my head. And this song comes from Psalm chapter 1, and it's verses 2 and 3. It says, "But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law he meditates day and night. He will be like a tree firmly planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither, and whatever he does, he prospers." So once again, I'm going to sing a little song for you, and hopefully this will stick in your head and will help you to remember to delight in the law of the Lord. I will delight in the law of the Lord, I will meditate day and night. Then like a tree firmly planted, I'll be grounded in your word. I will delight in the law of the Lord, I will meditate day and night. Then like a tree firmly planted, I'll be grounded in your word. Blessed is the one who follows the way of the Lord. Blessed is the one. So I hope those two songs will encourage you today. Maybe they'll stick in your head. They're kind of both catchy tunes, but both of them are based straight out of the scriptures, and I hope you to meditate on his word and to apply it to your lives. So that's all I have for today's Caffeinated Conversation. I hope you guys all have an incredible weekend filled with fellowship, fun, family, and faith. And I will see you back next week for another Caffeinated Conversations.